I first saw Professor Robbins Burling in 1955 at Rongram Bazaar. That was the day I was coming from Guwahati to Tura, and we reached Rongram in the evening. At Rongram, some passengers got down, while some others got up. As I looked back, I saw one very tall white man getting up in the bus with the Garo basket on his forehead. There was no more seat, so I saw him squatting on the floor of the bus with his basket in front of him. So after some time we came from there to Tura, and I have no more contact after that. The next time I saw him, and met him rather, was in Shillong when I was teaching in the Northeastern Hill University in Shillong. He came for some seminar, and I had a brief interaction with him. But my close association with him began when I came to Tura as the Pro Vice Chancellor in 1996. He also came to visit Rengsangre, his the field of his research, in the same year, in 1996. And we met together here in Tura. And since then, from 1996 till about 2015 or 2016, when he last visited Tura, we were great friends. We exchanged letters, we exchanged communications now and then during these years. When he came to Tura in 1996, I was here the Pro Vice Chancellor, and I visited Rengsangre Village along with him one of these days. When we reached Rengsangre Village, there were many boys and girls, young boys and girls, who came rushing to see a white man. They stared at him, wondering who the man was. Meantime, there were some old men and old women who also came rushing down to meet him. And all these old men and women, when they saw him, they said, "Oh, Robin has come. How are you?" Robin asked them. "We are fine." Meantime, there were some women also who came rushing down to meet him. And one of them said, looked up at him and said, "Oh, Robin has come again. We thought you're dead and gone." Professor Robbins, he simply laughed at her remark. Later on I asked him whether he was hurt by that. He said, no, I like it, because these people are very simple and very straightforward. So in that way we spent some time in that 1996 when we went to Rengsangre. And after some time we came back to Tura. Then we used to have food in our house, breakfast and dinner, and we used to have long chats over a range of subjects. I asked him one of those days, "What on earth you have chosen Garo Hills for your field of research?" That when he was teaching in the Michigan University, USA, he came across with an article which described about the matriarchal societies, matrilineal societies all over the world. And he came across with the name of Garo Hills and the Garo tribe, that they also belong to the matrilineal or matriarchal society. When he went through the article, he was not very clear as to what type of matriarchal structure the Garos have got. Nothing was explained properly there. So he was very curious to know what kind of community the Garos are, what kind of matrilineal society they have. So he became greatly interested to know the exact ground reality of the matrilineal system of the Garos of Garo Hills. And so that made him to look for financial help. Came across with the Rockefeller Foundation and he was granted scholarship, fellowship to do research on the matrilineal systems of the Garos. And that is how he came in 1954 to Garo Hills, along with his wife and his son. And he stayed here in Garo Hills at that time for about 2 years, during which time a girl also was born to them. And in order to remember his good work in Garo Hills, he named her name as Nono, which means sister in Garo language. But we also call them, our daughters, granddaughters, as Nono. And so that was how he began his research here in Garo Hills. He used to come every now and then, after 1 year, after 2 years, to Garo Hills. And every time he came here, he would at once rush to go to Rengsangre to see what are the changes that took place from the first time that he came to Rengsangre. And he was amazed to find that lots of changes have tremendously have taken place. In place of the traditional long houses, there were some type of buildings with CICs came up. And instead of dense forest, there were plantations of cashew nuts or pineapples, then the betel nuts. And he was amazed to see the tremendous changes that took place there in Rengsangre and around. Now, when he was doing research, he was greatly interested to know the psyche of the Garos, the psychological functioning in the Garos' mind, and also their culture, their festivals, and he used to take active part in all the festivals of the Garos held in Rengsangre and around. He also took part, he also witnessed the proceedings of the settlement of disputes among the Garos in Rengsangre. And all these things he has also recorded in his book called Rengsangre. Then he also used to take part in the community work. Among the Garos there is a custom that if a new house has to be constructed, the whole village will join in constructing the house. Robbins Burling used to take part by doing something or other in the construction work. He also used to take part in the festivals like Vangala festivals and other sacrificial other sacrifices. He tried to behave exactly like the Garos, so that he knows exactly the Garo mind. That is what he told me. Then he also told me one interesting thing. He said one of the days when he was in Rengsangre, in the afternoon, he was roaming around in the Jum field. Then he saw at a short distance a group of people. They were fighting, they were shouting, shrieking, struggling to escape from the catching of the group of people. And when he asked the people around him, he said, it is Chawari Ska. A group of people belonging to the clan of a girl. They caught hold of one boy and they forcibly caught him and took him to her home. And he struggled all the way. And then he saw that this group of people took that boy to her house and they guarded the whole night around his house. And so I was a witness to this marriage by capture that was prevalent among the Garos. And he was very happy to see all these ancient cultural traits, practices among the Garos. Then he was very fond of old men and old women. One of the women, all women. Now, Robbins Burling he worked hard. He stayed in the mission compound here, and then he worked very hard. He will go early in the morning to Rengsangre and he will come back only in the evening. Every day he would do that. And he recorded everything. And in the end, he produced a book, a very commendable book called Rengsangre. After that, he also published a Garo grammar, which was published by the Deccan University in Pune in Maharashtra. That was a very commendable work on the Garos. Besides this, later on, he also enlarged his field of area of research. He tried to study the languages of other communities belonging to the Tibeto-Burman linguistic group. And they published lots of articles out of these research works. He was also one of the experts on linguistics who tried to study origin of the word Garo, and they had their own explanation how other people gave the word Garo to the Acheks. So in that way, and in many ways, he has made a lot of contributions to the history and culture of the Garos. Now, having done extensive research on the Garos in Garo Hills, he also went to Bangladesh to study the Mandis of Bangladesh. Because he was not allowed, the foreigners were allowed during the 1970s and 1980s because of the political upheavals. And so he wanted to continue his work, and since he was not allowed to come to Northeast India, he shifted his field of research to Bangladesh. And so he did his study there. And out of his study in Bangladesh, he brought out the book, The Strong Women of Modhupur. And also he wrote one very monumental work on Garo grammar with the examples of the Mandi dialect of Bangladesh. And so in that way, and various other ways, Robbins Burling has made one of the greatest contributions to the history, culture, and language of the Garos. Apart from this, he took part in many other activities. For example, he made a special study of the Ruga dialect, and we arranged for him about 5-6 women from Ruga village who still spoke Ruga dialect, and they came there and stayed in Nehu guest house at Tura, and where Robbins Burling also was staying, and they were working together for about a week in the Nehu guest house. And out of the study of Ruga dialect, he brought out articles on the Ruga dialect and found out that Ruga dialect is closer to the Koch language than to the Garo standard language. So in that way, not only grammar, not only the language, but also dialects even. He went deep into the study of various Garo dialects. So he made a tremendous contributions, and it is a great loss to us that he has passed away. He knew some Garo folklore, folk songs. In one of the days, when we went round Tura town, from here to Rongkon and to Edenbury and back to Tura, we sang song. And one of the songs that he still remembered was Nango re re go serong, Nango re re go serong, Nango re re go serong, Owe nango go serong. And he knew the other verses also, but for lack of time, I will not sing it today on his behalf. But he knew not only this song, but other Garo folk songs also he knew. And I took him on his last visit about 3 years ago. He made his last visit to Tura. And I took him to our Mahari, Tokongsi Mahari clan picnic where he also sang this song and other songs in the picnic. So in that way, he participated in the various activities of the Garo community here. He also attended some church services. And he also attended Wanga 100 Dance Wangala Festival. And so in that way, he has enriched himself by participating in various activities of the Garo community. And I'm sad to say that today we have lost him. And personally, I lost him because we have spent number of hours, countless number of hours in discussing various things regarding various aspects of the Garo life. And it's a personal loss to me and to the whole Garo community. We expected that he will continue. And he said until the last breath, he will do research, study and writing about the Garo community. And he was doing that. And today, by the passing away of Robbins Burling, we have lost a great friend, a great contributor to the study of the Garo culture, language, and the way of life. At this moment, I wish to join with the Garos of Bangladesh in sending him the condolence message to his son, Stevie, and to his daughter, Nono, and to his grandchildren and great-grandchildren. It is a great loss to us and to the members of the Tibeto-Burman speech group. I wish him rest in peace. Thank you.